So a couple weeks ago, I was at a science communication lecture, and the speaker said something really interesting. She was talking about science and society, and she said there's one thing that unites people across all political and socioeconomic backgrounds. The one thing that everyone agrees upon is that dinosaurs are awesome. And I thought, great, because that's what I'm studying. Well, okay, so I actually study what killed the dinosaurs, meteorite impacts. And I'm not really studying dinosaurs, I'm studying these other critters called ammonites. This is just a nice picture, a cartoon of what they might have looked like 65 million years ago. Now our story starts in 1980, when Lewis and Walter Alvarez published what in my opinion is the greatest scientific paper of all time. In this paper, they suggested that the extinction of the dinosaurs was actually triggered by a large meteorite impact. And it was the first time that anyone suggested something from outside of the Earth, some extraterrestrial event, was responsible for major life-changing events here on the Earth. This was really controversial at the time, and it's been studied a lot since then, both on the paleontological and the geologic side. Since then, we've actually found and identified the crater. It's located off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. It's called Chicxulub. This is another artist's picture of what it might have looked like. They recently drilled this in a major scientific drilling campaign, so it was in the news lately, and you might have heard of it. Now, one of the reasons this is so interesting, people keep coming back to study this, is because it seems to be a unique event. There are 190 craters on the Earth, and there are 5 major mass extinctions, lots of smaller mass extinctions, but only this one is uniquely tied to an asteroid impact. So understanding what happened here and why this is so special is really interesting. And it really comes down to timing. In order for these two events to be connected, we need to know that they happened at the same time. So that's where what I do comes in. I'm actually working at a site pretty close to here in New Jersey, pretty far away from the Chicxulub event, but you can tell that this is a place where material from that crater was thrown out and traveled all the way from there to New Jersey. This is what it looks like in the field. You can see what's important about this is that geologists measure time vertically. So the stuff down here at the bottom is older than the stuff at the top. And what you can see when you look at the fossils is that people put, that's where the ammonites went extinct, right there. And there's some work that a group at Rutgers did, and they identified chemical traces of the impact, and they put that there. So not at the same time. And their explanation for this, because this is different from everywhere else where we see this, is that they think, well, the chemical traces, maybe those migrated down in the 65 million years after the impact. Maybe as water was flowing over the rocks, the chemical traces moved down. So what I'm doing is going in and looking at this to try and see if we can find other markers of the impact that wouldn't have been moved by water. And so when I've done that, I've just started, but preliminary results actually put those here. So it looks like things didn't move down. So what happened? What we actually think is that, in fact, some of the things did survive the impact. Some of those critters did survive, and they flourished. Because you had a lot of die-off of all of the other animals, there weren't many predators and a lot of food, so the ammonites really flourished. And I like to think that 65 million years ago, New Jersey would have been a free-for-all, fast food, all-you-can-eat buffet for the ammonites. Now I know everybody thinks that dinosaurs are awesome, but I'm going to suggest that some of these other critters, the ones that don't have Hollywood blockbuster movies, they might be equally, if not more interesting to study. Thanks.